Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Fantom Podcast. I am Sid.
I'm Jenny.
We're here to continue our horror conversation from last week. We have some fucking developments for you.
We have problems.
I have a lot of screaming and crying and ranting and raving to do, so I hope that you are all prepared for this shit show. So how are you doing today, Jimmy?
Not bad. I've seen some horrific things today. It's been a good time.
I need you to tell me everything about these horrific things. Go.
We have a theme store near-ish. It's like an hour away. That's mostly just horror cat, like horror movies, spooky dolls. And so they have this wall of Funko Pops. And I've discovered that instead of being cutesy and fun, now they have these unending black eyes that can see into your soul. And it's frightening the first time you look over, because I looked over and saw, oh, cat in a hat. Oh, 11 from String. Why are their eyes black?
They're staring into your soul, Jimmy. They know your intentions.
It was honestly unnerving.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of the cat in the hat and I was like, nope. And I tossed it into some holy water. The whole phone. And then when it was done, I tossed it into some holy rice to dry it out.
I'm glad you have some holy rice.
You gotta be prepared, man. There is one thing that I learned from watching Supernatural is you gotta be prepared. Do you have any housekeeping for us today?
Not really. Just trying to get, being a little more consistent about posting on Twitter. Keeping up with episode links, things like that.
You are doing a great job, and I appreciate you and your efforts because I am the worst at that shit.
Getting better.
The worst. I don't think I've logged into my own personal social media in like 7 months. So thank you, Jimmy.
I do my best.
Everybody, all hail Jimmy.
You have any new housekeeping?
Not really. Just mentioning social media. We're fantompodcast@gmail.com. Same handle on Twitter, on Instagram, on Tumblr. I just have a quick story.
Oh, do.
Quick spooky story to tell.
Do it. Throw it out here.
I was at work on Friday and everybody else was gone. I was all by my lonesome and I had to take some paperwork out to one of the manager's offices. So I walk in and something catches my eyes and my horror instincts kick in. I stop breathing. I'm about to shit my heart out.
That's visceral.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I can either push back or run forward. I don't know what the shortest distance is going to be, but what the fuck?
Yeah.
There was somebody laying on the table in the dark. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this stupid thing and I'm going to turn on the light. And I turned on the light. It was a fucking CPR dummy. Oh my God, though. Like, I had not felt true fear like that in such a long time. It was just like, wow, happy Thanksgiving to me.
It's a gift that keeps giving.
I felt pretty awake after that, though. I was like, I can skip my 3 cups of coffee this morning.
That's awful.
But that's about all I have for personal stories today. We're diving right back into our horror theme from last week.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, we got to start off with our experience. Do you want to start us off?
Oh God, which experience though? The good one or the bad one?
Both of them need to be lumped into the same story because one begat the other. So.
Okay, so we've been doing some horror movie watch-alongs, and in our infinite wisdom, my record for picking movies is either amazing or god-awful. I don't tend to pick meh ones, and unfortunately, I picked one based on an interesting description, and it was don't kill it. Don't watch it. Don't do it to yourself. Don't.
Do kill it.
Burn it. Delete it off Netflix. It features discount Woody Harrelson, some people in a bar, a cowboy hat, a strobe light, and a chandelier. I'm not clear what's going on. My brain sort of exploded once they were in Mississippi. I'm doing air quotes, but not like you can see it. And everyone had Kentucky accents. Oh, it hurt. We bailed out 18 minutes and 35 seconds into it.
That is our record so far. And then the worst fucking part for me personally was that because everybody bailed from the household, my mom was like, oh, can I watch the movie with you? And I was like, sure, Mom, let's have some, bonding experience here. It was a fucking worst.
Yeah, there's a point in it where discount Woody Harrelson's hat gets stolen by discount everything. And she wears it during this 5 minute strobe light sex scene that looks like a rave from the 90s. I don't know where the light came from.
I don't know.
It wasn't meaningful unless her fucking chandelier had it.
And her chandelier was hanging like a foot away from the bed. And I was like, what kind of purpose is that serving right there?
Confusion. That girl had so many issues.
The only thing that I liked was all his necklaces.
But he was wearing a V-neck t-shirt and vape.
He vaped. Oh my God.
I'm sorry that broke.
Oh my. It was just the worst movie in existence from what we could tell 18 minutes in. Like, we just unanimously immediately decided we are done. We're done. We're not doing this. We're not subjecting ourselves to this bullshit anymore. What else can we watch?
In my defense, I picked it because we had just been talking about Supernatural and it mentioned demon hunters, and it sounded faintly interesting. An ancient demon terrorizes a tiny Mississippi town.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not sure what it had to do with a demon, but our demon hunter was fun. He asked if you liked ice cream, but he had 18 necklaces, but he had a V-neck and a vape pen. I'm sorry, it's like Fraggle Rock. I can't.
Oh my God, I couldn't either. I was very disappointed that it didn't work out because I was kind of into his character, like the concept that was presented of his character before that sex scene.
Yeah, it was interesting. I just noticed that it's actually billed as a comedy horror movie.
Oh.
Anyway, though,
Thank God.
I don't care because it's from March 3rd, 2017. It has no excuse.
It does not. It wasted 18 minutes of our life that we'll never get back. Oh God, it was the worst fucking thing we've ever done.
Quote Wikipedia before we find out what this led to, which was so much better. First off, it premiered to rave reviews at many major film festivals. Principal photography took 17 days in Canton, Mississippi over the 2015 Christmas season. Ben Dez said they had 12 days to prep beforehand, during which time he was lucky to get 5 or 6 hours sleep each night. It shows.
I mean, I'm trying. I don't know if I should cackle or burst into tears. It was just, God, what a mess of a fucking film. Like, even being bad. Comedy horror, it was just a disaster. It was tragic.
But what did it lead us into?
It led us into a lovely little Netflix film that I found called The Eyes of My Mother. Now, I didn't have any hope for it, especially after this fucking disaster.
But the thing is, anything was better than that.
That's true. I mean, don't put that out in the universe because you'll jinx us, Jimmy. But it opened up and I was like, what the fresh hell is this? It's a black and white movie with some weird camera angles. Jimmy, I was so disturbed. And you were like, this is hitting all of your fears, isn't it? I'm like, yup. Because it opens with a mother and young child outside or the child is outside and the mother comes out and there's a strange man talking to the little girl.
Oh no, you missed the weird cow eye dissection.
Oh, fuck. For a reason, Jimmy. I am not mentioning that. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, keep going.
There's a cow eye. Oh my God, cow eye dissection. I wasn't looking. That's another one of the things that I'm squeamish about. I didn't watch that short film. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. But that Dolly film where they pretend to.
No,
yeah.
No.
So mother comes out. And her young daughter is talking to a strange man. And this motherfucker is like, is your husband expected home anytime soon? Can I come inside and use your bathroom? And this bitch says yes.
And we're just screaming. Why is she's going to say yes. She's going to say yes. We know she's going to say yes, but why?
Right. It's like, lady, you just finished giving some bomb-ass advice. You know, like you look like a tough, old world kind of mother that is no nonsense, that will kick you in the shin for being a little shit. And you're letting this overtly creepy ass motherfucker into your house?
Apparently.
Oh my God. So many bad choices. So they go inside and then he starts getting extra creepy. He's like, can you show me where the bathroom is? And she's like, oh, it's just at the end of the hall to the right. And he's like, no, can you show me? And she's like, my husband's gonna be home any minute. And he's like, oh, but you just said that a minute ago and he's not here. So is he always late? I need you to show me the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, bitches, run. Somebody run, for the love of God. And then the inevitable happens.
It was brutal.
It was brutal. Mama does not live for the rest of the film.
Not just that she doesn't live, but when it finally pans back in, and there is a husband, and he does show up, he walks past Francisca, and she's sitting in the kitchen and just looking at him, and the subtitles are what got me, because one of the subtitles fucking said giggles.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's walking through, and Francisca's like, I couldn't leave her. And you hear, like, laughter, and then this awful thunking noise, and Mom's in the bathtub being bludgeoned with a pistol.
The good thing is they don't show the actual bludgeoning, but just the way they set the scene, you didn't need to see it. You could feel the gore, I guess. It was
visceral.
It was completely visceral. And yeah, like you were saying, the subtitles got me because since I was watching it on the TV and not my laptop, I couldn't really hear.
Yeah.
And so when I saw like the laughter, giggles or whatever, I was like, oh, this is getting weird. Like, is she having an affair with the dude? And then the thudding and the hitting. And I was like, fuck, I was wrong.
Yeah, and the thing with this movie, and it's its strength, but also the most disturbing part, is whoever set up the camera angles is an asshole.
Oh, an asshole genius.
I mean, absolutely brilliant person, but they have these long static shots that make it look like a 50s film noir, and instead it's filming these scenes of unspeakable horror. And it's like behind people in a car, stuck to a sled pulling a body.
They did an amazing job just stressing you out throughout the whole film. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and everything is tense. And what it builds up to in the beginning is not what happens in the end.
Not at fucking all. I was not expecting the movie to progress the way that it did. It felt like we watched two different movies.
We kind of did, and I'm okay with that.
It was exactly what we needed after the shit show that was Don't Kill It.
I still can't recover from that.
And it's got one of those things that I really like where the beginning loops back to the end. I was not expecting the events that happened. Remember at the beginning I was screaming, don't pull over, don't pull over.
And that had nothing to do with the rest of it until the very end.
Right. And at the end I was like, oh, okay, you're good. You pulled over.
Yeah, that was something you probably should have done, I guess.
But how much do we want to spoil? Do we want to talk about the whole thing or just...
Let's just put some spoilers out here in big caps. If you don't want to hear about it, skip a few minutes.
Yep. Spoiler alert. So, Jesus Christ, when Francisca goes out to the barn the first time.
Ah, she's a little kid. And I don't know, I think maybe only once or twice they broke the motif, but she was constantly wearing white dresses. And I was like, that is so sinister. I don't know. Like, it just added to the mood and the tension of it. She goes out there, pretty little girl in a white dress, and opens the barn. And I'm like, I know it's coming, but I was still shocked, I suppose. To be honest, I didn't see that sort of body horror coming. I thought it was just like there was a body in there because previously she had to clean up the blood from her mother, help him carry her mother to her grave.
Oh, God. Yeah, we skipped that part.
And I just assumed it was another piece of, like, child psychological horror. And it was, but very different.
Yeah. I guess I'm giving myself too much credit there. I didn't know the extent to what was going to happen in the barn, but I had an inkling. Like, oh, shit, this is about to get so much worse. And then, she stitches his wounds together and removes his eyes. Oh, my God.
And his vocal cords, I think.
And his vocal cords, because he does not make a peep after. Just this sweet little angelic looking baby girl. Just fucking inflicting this horror on an admittedly disgusting human being.
Oh, yeah, he's awful, but
holy hell. I was done for at that moment. I was like, this is it. I love this.
Oh, God. And that was actually one of the scenes where I had to commit to it because it gets so much worse. In a good way.
In the best way. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it. We would have left it behind, 18 minutes in.
Yeah, and there's some question, honestly, as to her obsession with death previously. But she goes in that whole ritual of visiting the guy who killed her mom with his eyes removed and everything stitched and feeding him and brushing his hair becomes this horrific ritual that takes her to adulthood.
Yeah, to adulthood. When the scene of her as a grown woman started, I was like, oh shit, no. What the fuck is this movie doing? But let's find out. And then I love that it was split. They had the title cards, it was split into sections. So, I mean, it kind of prepped us, but still, when title 2 came on and it said father, I was like, oh Lord, what's going to happen? But then that one surprised me because I thought she was like going to turn on him.
Yeah, something disturbing.
I mean, it was because at the beginning, her big thing with the dad is she wants his affection. She wants his love. And he's just so cold to her, like just does not even regard her. So I was thinking, oh my God, section 2, she's going to go nuts and like behead him or something and like put his head out in the barn with the other dude. I don't know. I was imagining all kinds of crazy shit. So she wakes up and he has just passed away, it seems like, in his sleep. And she just wakes up and looks at the corpse and knows that he's gone, but doesn't acknowledge him as being deceased. And it was just that weird indifference that just, I mean, it made my stomach churn a little bit. I was like, oh fuck, where are they going with this?
Yeah, it was upsetting. And I think the thing that got me is how removed she was from the actual situation. She never actually addresses what's going on.
Not directly.
No, and she goes things through and says things like, I miss you, Dad, or where did you go, or will you come back? But it's always oblique, it's always distantly phrased. She's not actually engaging with anything. Nothing in her life does she never engages with anything completely.
Right. Like she's just floating through her life situations and it's just so disconnected and it's so bizarre and you don't even know. It's just the whole thing sets it up so well. Like black and white, and you don't know where they are. They're speaking Portuguese, and then they're speaking English, and then it sounds like American TV's on, and just you don't know where you are. It just completely discombobulates you. And you're like, what reality is this happening in? They did a good job.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's painful almost. Like watching her, and she doesn't like gradually fall apart. She's just never put together in the first place.
Yeah. And then after her father dies, and she bathes him, and then she like dresses him and puts him back in bed. And then there's a scene where she's watching TV and his corpse is just slumped back against the couch, and she like leans in and hugs him and kisses him on the cheek. Like if they're just watching TV like a family. Oh my God. I was like, what the absolute shit what is this Ed Gein bullshit that's going on right now? Oh my God.
It was so creepy.
It was so fucking bizarre. It was amazing.
And for context, we had previously commented after the father died. Okay, I have to address this one because it was probably the thing that creeped me out the most.
Yeah.
That we were hoping there wasn't, or not after the father died, after the mother died, there wasn't going to be some weird sexual component to it.
Yeah.
So after her dad dies, I don't want to say she unhinges because I'm not sure the hinge was attached. It's like closing the barn door after the horse got out.
Right.
She brings her mom's murderer, like Charlie or whatever, into the house, bathes him, and oh God, I'm going to need to shower again after this.
Yeah.
And we saw it coming too. Like both of us started freaking out.
Yeah.
And then takes him to bed.
Yep. And undresses in front of him. That was just, oh God. Oh my God. It was disturbing as fuck.
Yeah, it was distressing.
Oh my God. Like, this movie was genuinely so fucking stressful, you guys. But yeah, I didn't much care for that scene because it actually really freaked me out. Excellent pacing and all that shit though. Like, I'm not complaining.
And just sort of collapse the ending a little bit because there's some nuance we can't really get into easily without this being an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But eventually she starts moving further and further out. Charlie tries to escape. She chases him down slowly because remember he's blind and hasn't been outside in like 15 years. Ugh. And kills him, and it's like a sexual scene. Like, it's super upsetting.
Yeah.
She's enjoying it way too much.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. The like murder cuddling.
It was a murder snuggle, and it wasn't like Hannibal's murder snuggle. It was all distressing.
Oh my God.
She had no class.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I forgot about the murder snuggle. I think my mind is trying to compartmentalize this film and just like, bitch, just forget about it because we don't need this kind of negativity in our lives.
Oh, yeah, and oh, God. So, skipping forward a bit, she kills someone else, stores her organs in the fridge because, what do?
Of course.
And then she goes out and she's like, I can't stand to be alone anymore. So she's trying to find contact, and that's part of why she brings in Charlie. And because she's not a person, like her cows even hate her.
Oh, poor little cows.
I know. And so she goes out and she's like hitchhiking and gets picked up by a woman with a baby. And then everything, oh God, can I highlight that?
Yeah, no, this is we're title card number 3. I was just screaming the whole time because it just blacks out and says part 3, family. And then it opens to the woman and the baby.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So she gets picked up by the woman and the baby, and she starts like getting really obsessive over that little infant. Like, it's super upsetting. And the woman seems a little creeped out. Like, okay, put the baby back, please.
She had them good mama instincts.
Yeah, and it didn't serve her well.
Right, I was gonna say just no follow through.
None.
Go ahead.
Do you want to take the ending?
No.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
You can start asking the questions afterwards, though.
Okay.
So they get to her house, and I'm going to be honest, I can't remember exactly what happens right after this because I was so tense. But long story made short and weird, Francisca takes the baby and bolts. And Mama freaks out and follows them into the house, screaming like, my baby, where's my kid? Looking for Antonio, the baby. Goes upstairs, and I was so tense here because it's a classic, shit. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Framing. Big open door, what you want in front of you, you're about to get killed. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
And she goes in, and Francisca just like casually walks up and stabs her. Like, this is what do. And walks in, picks up the baby, and Mom is still crawling across the floor. Oh, God.
Oh,
and
oh, my God.
It skips ahead a little bit, and, oh, God, and I saw this coming because Francisca knows nothing else. She's all broken. But she takes the mom to the barn.
Oh, Lord.
Again, takes her eyes and vocal cords.
Oh, fuck. Barn mom, no.
Barn mom. Sorry, it's whistling in the dark, but I'm sorry, barn mom.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go. I love it.
I'm trying to skip ahead as much as I can. I'm trying to move up speedily. And so it sort of goes downhill from there. If it couldn't go more downhill.
It goes into the pits of hell from here.
Barn mom is barn mom, and then it skips ahead to Antonio, who's like 6 or 7, maybe 6 or 7. He's like the size of a first grader. And he watches Francisca go to the barn and leave. And he's like, oh, if you've met a 6 or 7-year-old, they're curious and have very little impulse control.
Me too, though.
He trots out and goes into the barn and finds barn mom. I just looked up. Her name's Lucy, not barn mom, but again, whistling in the dark.
Yeah.
Antonio unlocks the barn and lets his mom out. A trucker picks up Lucy, and it wraps up to the very beginning scene of the entire movie, and which is a trucker picking up a woman who collapses in the road. The trucker picks up Lucy, calls the police. The police go to the barn. Francisca is having some more death snuggle with her mom's skeleton.
Fuck. When I realized what was going on there, I was like, you fucking crazy bitch. I didn't realize you could get crazier. Okay, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. She comes back from the gravesite, sees the cops, and bolts into the house to wake up Antonio. And then it gets kind of question marky because they go to the bathroom. She's brandishing a knife, just screaming and shouting, I'll never take my baby, I'll never take my baby. And then the camera cuts to a top-up view of the house, and you hear gunshots.
Yeah, and she's telling Antonio, whatever they say about me, don't believe him. I was just doing what was best for us. I was just doing anything that would keep us together. I never wanted to lose you. Like, it was, oh my God, it was so intense. Holy shit. So then the end, you don't know what happened. I mean, it was a giant question mark at the end.
Yeah, and it makes me think of the news story articles of people stealing kids or attacking pregnant women. I'm like, no.
It was intense. I told Jimmy, I was like, at the end, I literally had developed a headache from how tense I felt. I'm pretty sure I wasn't even taking full breaths. My hands were just cramped up. Holy fucking shit. What the shit was that? But it was the best
It was
movie
so
Oh
upsetting.
my god. It was so upsetting. And then I was thinking back on last week we were complaining that we hadn't felt that way in a long time, and bless, we felt that way. Shit.
Yeah, I'm looking back at our list, and I think the last time we had it was Hush, and then Frailty. Oh, and Sinister.
Oh, sweet Jesus. But this was like, this is like a top 3, top 5.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was wild.
It was so wild.
15 minutes on garbage, and then this.
Oh Lord. But yeah, let's take a deep breath, Jimmy. Let's center ourselves. Let's go back a little bit to the questions that we had last week.
Okay.
We've already covered question number 26. What movie did you shut off or only watch once because it was too ridiculous? Our number one answer to that is this fucking don't kill it bullshit.
I can give you a number 2 though.
What?
Satanic. That movie with the like shitty goth kids that no one died fast enough. Like it was long stretches of nobody dying.
Yeah, and it was very upsetting because everybody deserved to die. The other one that we noped out of was Jupiter Rising, I think. Or what was the like space horror one that we were almost to the end, but it was so bad that we were like, fuck it. I know there's like 5 minutes left, but we're not doing this.
Fuck, I can't remember. It was not Jupiter Rising. Jupiter Rising.
Oh.
No, Jupiter Rising. It was just awful, but it wasn't space horror.
Oh.
Yeah, Jupiter Rising involved like dog soldiers. It was fucking weird. Mila Kunis and everything.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't.
I can't remember
that
what
one
the
then.
space horror was though. I remember it though because we got to the end and went, "Are we feeling this?" Like, no. Why are we finishing it?
Right. Oh, it was Europa Report.
Oh no, thank you. That was garbage.
Yeah, our review, like our like one-line review was fuck this shit. It was so bad we bailed. And we like never do that.
No, God, that was absolute garbage. That was the first one we bailed from.
Yeah.
Usually we power through, but
We're pretty good about powering through, but there's just some things that are just too garbage to ever waste our precious eyesight on. But okay, sorry. So that we got really sidetracked from that question.
I'm sorry, it was my fault.
No, it's all good. Do you want to take the next question, or do you have a question?
Yeah, there's actually a good one. Have you ever been in a theater for a horror movie and seen an actual like amazing reaction from the group?
So most recently when we went to see it in theaters, I was with 2 small children who were acting all brave and whatever, and of course they jumped the whole time. But we were surrounded by like college students, and then there was this one couple in front of us that was on a date, and I loved it. Because the girl like just watched the movie, but the guy was the one who kept jumping at all the jump scares, and he was very visibly freaked out. And especially in the in the scene with all the clown doll or the dolls and he goes in the coffin or whatever. Holy shit, he almost dropped his popcorn and his slushie. And I was like, oh, sweet young baby, let me just hold your hand. I'm like, when you go home
walk you through
tonight.
this.
Yeah. I'm like, I hope that she agrees to go home with you because you're going to need somebody to watch over you. Oh my God. How about you, Jimmy?
I'm actually going to go back to it because at the time I was so annoyed, and it took me till the end to realize it was nervous laughter. But I was next to this couple that every time I get fully immersed in the moment, and then they'd start giggling. And it wasn't like some 18-year-olds. These people were like 40, probably almost 50. And they would flip their phone, glance at the screen, and start laughing. They did it at every tense point in the entire movie. But I didn't realize till the end when, I'm going to be honest, I'm an unrepentant eavesdropper sometimes.
I love
and
it. Me too.
the wife comments to her husband in Spanish and says, that was horrifying. I'm so scared. And she kept going on, like, as we're walking freaking out. She's got this monologue of how terrified she was, and her husband's just nodding like, yeah, I've seen some things, man.
Oh no. That is
It was
hilarious.
nervous laughter. They were derailing themselves. Themselves.
I love it. Oh my gosh. And okay, I get it because I'm a nervous giggler too, but it's like
Yeah.
at every goddamn tense moment. Are you kidding me? I would have slapped them.
Yeah, I nearly did. Like I was at a point where I was just giving them dirty looks every time they started laughing. And this lady was like on my elbow. She could see me.
Oh Lord. Oh, so yeah, right next to you. That sucks. I'm sorry.
I mean, once I realized that it was a nervous laughter, I'm like, oh, you don't know how to function.
I someday I hope to see like a really big over the top, like holy shit, I'm at it, like gets up and leaves type of thing, you know? Not really because it would ruin the day, but still, you know what I mean.
I do. So, what have you got for me?
Well, I guess let's continue our horror movies in the theaters things. Do you prefer watching them in the theater or do you prefer watching them like in the privacy of your own home? What's your dealio?
That one's hard. Depending on when it comes out, I tend to like watching horror movies in theaters just for like the ambiance and sort of the crowd response if it's a good crowd.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a garbage crowd, it's a waste of my time.
Absolutely.
Occasionally, like you can tell when the whole group is really immersed and it's such a cool feeling. But if I can't like guarantee that or like reasonably guess it, I prefer watching it at home just because I can turn the lights off and know for a fact my front door is locked.
That too. There's none of that nervous walk back to the car. Fuck, is there a serial killer following me?
Quietly staring behind you. No, I don't want to go to the bathroom. Someone could chase me in there.
Right. Somebody could lock me in there. Holy shit. Oh my god. Yeah.
What about you?
It's tough because I like just the environment of the theater and having like that like giant screen surround sound thing, but I am not a people person. I am not,
neither am I.
Yeah, I am not a patient person. I'm such a huge bitch that I just can't handle. Like when I was a teenager, it was fun because I went with my friends and you know we just had that like we're just here to have fun and be scared and then go home and have pizza type of thing.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, other than like taking my sister to the movies, I can't tell you the last time that I went just by myself to enjoy something because nothing beats the experience of being scared shitless, frozen in your chair at home with your headphones in, completely in the dark, watching something scary that you can go at your own pace too. So
yeah, you can bail.
Yeah. And then especially me, well, you know what I mean. My deaf ass, I have to have my subtitles on because I can't, even sometimes with the headphones in, they do that thing where you can only hear certain dialogue out of one ear or the other. And so I end up missing a lot of stuff. So I can go at my own pace. So that's my big thing.
Yeah, I watch everything with subtitles, and I've noticed I have trouble following when people are talking now.
Yep.
I have to look at the subtitles.
Yep, me too. I get mad if somebody turns off the subtitles on the shared like Netflix or Amazon or something. I just scream up the stairs, "Who the fuck turned my subtitles off? I just missed half the movie."
Yeah, I can hear nothing. Why are you asking me this?
Right.
Oh God. Yeah, no. I have really bad allergies, so I'm progressively getting more deaf in one ear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's why I feel you.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in general.
It sucks, but you survive. It means I'm also a little less startly when loud noises happen because I can't hear them.
That's true.
Let me look back at our list.
Well, last week, I couldn't think of a fucking answer.
The setting one.
Yeah, for what are your favorite horror movie settings? And I thought of it. I can't give you examples, but I thought of it.
Okay.
So I love like road trip horror movies. So like How's This October Built? But that's I guess a specific example. But my biggest thing, the horror for me comes from you can't escape the source of horror.
Ooh.
It's not like the whatever terror is going on is not specific to one location. So it's not like you can just move out of the house or go somewhere else or go to a different country or just anything like that. It follows you. So the movie It Follows, that one, oh God, I really wanted to love it. I don't know why I don't. Like probably it came off as too preachy and weird. But the concept of the horror in that movie is what I fucking live for. It's like no matter what, you are not safe anywhere, you know? So that's my answer. I thought of it. Woohoo!
Oh yeah, and the thing is that I remember us watching it, and if I hadn't gotten stuck on the Mean Girls gym teacher comment, like the actual concept of not being able to escape no matter what, you're honestly SOL,
Hmm.
is unnerving to
It
me.
is the fucking worst. And what was that movie where like the truck driver, like somebody like flips off a truck driver and when they're on a road trip and the truck driver follows them and like terrorizes them the whole way?
I
God.
don't
But
remember.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
I
do.
know that I watched it, but I've suppressed the memory of it because it was just so terrifying in that concept. Joyride, I think it's called.
Oh, it was just making me think of the haunted truck from first season of Supernatural.
Yes. Listen, they had it right. It's terrifying as fuck.
Would you like to know my guilty pleasure setting?
Mm.
I say guilty pleasure because I love this movie and I have no actual reason for loving it besides the setting
Oh.
and some of the concepts. A movie that always horrified me, or a story actually that horrified me as a kid was Lottery. Have you ever read
Oh,
it?
yeah. Yep.
And so there's a lot of movies that kind of play with it, like Get Out plays with the concept of the lottery.
Hmm.
But Skeleton Key. It was one of those. I was watching it, going, "I've been there. I've been there. I know where she's. Oh, she's not. That's not how you get there." But it was the concept of you can't escape because you've been chosen.
Yep.
At that point, when she stepped all the way into it, she couldn't back out. She was chosen to be the next replacement.
Yeah, that is terrifying as fuck. It's like it didn't just happen to you because you're a dumbass or it didn't happen to you because you were wrong place, wrong time. You are the one.
Yeah, it's it. You're done.
Yeah, yeah, you're fucked. No matter what you do, you're gonna die.
But yet, that concept is always just unnerving, and the lottery always creeped me
Oh
out.
yeah, for sure.
To talk about my university and what they did, we were the first class after Katrina.
Mm.
They kind of coddled us that first year. So they brought us all into the main like meeting room where they held presentations and shit
Hmm.
with one of those pop-up screens, and they huddled a bunch of 17 and 18-year-old freshmen who are away from home for the first time in a
Hmm.
dark room and played the skeleton key and fed us all Snickers bars.
Oh, why
It
would
was
they
so
think that was a good fucking idea?
it was so creepy.
How did half of the class not quit immediately?
I mean, it was honestly kind of a bonding situation because we're all in there watching it,
Yeah.
and some of them hadn't seen it, and for some of them, it was the first time they'd ever been to New Orleans.
Oh, sweet babies.
I'm like, oh, sugar, I'm sorry. It's
That's
not all
just
like this.
downright.
Mostly it's just drunks.
Yeah. Oh, that is downright cruel of them. How dare they? Oh, can we is there like a type of horror movie that you just can't get into or like a monster or creatures or something that you just can't get into, like you won't watch?
I hilariously, and I say this having grown up with parents that are like horror movie aficionados and they watch it every time.
Mhm.
I, for the life of me, cannot get into the 80s monster movies featuring like leprechauns and someone's gonna shoot me, gremlins. And it's one of those that even those occasionally pop up now and they're mostly like marionette dolls
Mhm.
or something doll related. And it has to be really, really intriguing for me to stay in because otherwise I'm just like, nah, fuck this.
And this is where I say, Jimmy, listen to me.
Sid, I'm
Are
listening.
you listening?
I'm listening.
We are the best friends ever. Because holy shit, I just cannot with those either. I was gonna say, holy shit. So,
Great minds.
yeah,
Great minds.
great minds. Our friendship is forever. It is eternal. We were picked.
It was meant to be.
All right. Oh God. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad about hating like creature feature type of things. But like, I just can't get into it. Like especially old, like the werewolf
Yeah.
movies and like you said, like Leprechaun, Gremlins, things like that. Like I'm just not into it. I can't do it. I don't know, they're too cheesy. They're not. It's like I need me an intelligent monster, I suppose. I'm awful, Jimmy.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't take it either. I just have no interest.
Yeah, you're not gonna entertain me with that. There's nothing new. It's like you've seen one, you've seen them all type of thing,
Yeah,
Which
and
is
that's
unfair
all.
to
Let's
say.
explore the monster. There couldn't be a monster, and then people die. I nope out,
Hmm.
and not in a scared way.
We nope out in a don't kill it way.
Pretty much.
That's gonna be our standard from now on. It's like, is this worse than don't kill it? Well, if not, let's keep going. What else do I got for you? Well, I was going to say I have another part 2 to one of the questions that we asked last week, which was the what movie have you only watched once? And so I mentioned Martyrs, and actually I tried to watch Martyrs again earlier this week, and I got like 20 minutes in and I was like, I don't have the stomach for this right now. Like
Yeah.
I was so overwhelmed I couldn't, so I stopped, which is a good sign. So watch it. But
Okay.
the title that I couldn't think of last week was Funny Games. Have you watched that?
No.
Okay. Well, there's 2 versions, and it's very important to note that it only applies to the original 1997 Austrian version, because there's an American shot-for-shot remake by the same director, Michael Haneke, that stars Michael Pitt, and I've watched that one many times for Michael's gorgeous fucking face.
Bless.
But this movie is one that hits all my biggest fears. There's home invasion by psychopaths with no motive. They act
Ugh.
charming. They are good looking. They're gaslighting assholes who make the victims feel like dicks for distrusting them. You have no idea where they came from or why they're doing this. Just unmitigated chaos.
Interesting.
Yeah, I watched the remake first, but when I watched the original, that's when the horror of the situation fucking hit me like a ton of bricks. It
Ooh.
felt like I was watching a snuff film, despite, like, there's a really surreal plot twist.
Okay.
But despite that, it still felt so real. And I think it has to do with the disconnect that I felt on 2 fronts. Number 1, that I didn't know any of the actors. And number 2, I don't speak the language, no matter how desperately I've been trying to learn.
Yeah.
And it just felt more real. In the remake, Naomi Watts plays the mom, and she just cried a little too pretty, you know? Like, it felt too clean and prim in comparison, despite being a shot-for-shot remake by the same freaking director. And that's probably what he was going for, because he said he wanted to shoot in America. So he's probably going for, like, squeaky clean, white linen American utopia that's slashed to bits by these psychopaths. But I feel like we see that so often, you know, that it was boring, I guess. I kind of prefer the flaws in the actors and the characters and their reactions. And like in the first one, the woman who plays the mom had a really good ugly cry.
Ooh.
And then I also got to give a shout out to the guy who plays Michael Pitt's character in the original. The actor's name is Arno Frisch, and he was terrifying in this weird primal way that I can't really explain. It was like the malice just radiated off of his character. He's really good. And when I watched it, I immediately looked him up, and he's only been in a handful of movies, but he did another one with the same director called Benny's Video, which we'll need to watch because it's disturbing, but it's like a realistic terror, and it's like, fuck, like, don't have children.
I'm fascinated.
So we'll have to watch Funny Games, and we'll need to watch Benny's Video.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. I'm very excited because now we get to watch it together.
Honestly, that is one I haven't seen.
Okay, good. The American remake is on Netflix, but I'll need to hunt down the original one for us.
I honestly prefer watching the originals anyway.
Yeah. So I like Michael Pitt.
Yeah, I know. Hannibal was a gift to you.
Oh, he's gorgeous, but apparently he's a dick in real life. Like, damn it, how dare you?
I actually have one I wanted to add on to that. I've only seen it once because for some reason it was so creepy to me.
Yeah.
And it is a South Korean horror movie called A Tale of Two Sisters.
Oh my God. Okay.
Have you seen it?
I have, but I'm the fucking worst, and I need to rewatch it again because I feel like at the end I didn't understand.
Yeah, you have to watch the Korean one.
Yeah.
The American remake, The Uninvited, is absolute garbage.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it was remade to The Uninvited. But a teenage girl, Sumi, is trapped in a mental I'm a mess. Mental institution. I don't know how I do my job. Oof. The doctor is sitting there questioning her about what happened, why are you here, trying to get into her information. So later she returns to her family's home and meets her younger sister, Soo-yeon. Mm-hmm. And their stepmother is there. She requires meds every time they eat, and then it turns out their family is showing up, and it just gets progressively creepier.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, capital letters. It eventually turns out that Sumi and her father are the only people there. Sumi has a version of dissociative identity disorder, and she switches between people. She hallucinates people being there. It's somewhere between psychosis and a multiple personality consideration.
Yeah.
And no one's there.
Fuck.
And it flashbacks at the very end, and I think this is why you'd like it, to why Sumi was institutionalized.
Mm-hmm.
Why did she end up there? And both sisters storm off to their bedroom. She is still seeing everyone. So Yeon discovers her biological mother in the room. She is depressed by the recent engagement, and she later finds out her mom hung herself in the closet and tries to revive her, causing the closet to collapse on her and slowly crush her to death. So the reason Sumi was institutionalized in the first place is everything is fucking horrifying.
Holy shit.
And so all of her dissociative stuff is brought from that ending piece of horrific trauma.
Well, shit. Me too.
What I took from it is that very ending scene showing that like horrific trauma is what caused the split and the psychosis and everything else.
I'll have to revisit this one. But yeah, I went through a phase of South Korean horror, and my God, they are good.
Oh, it gets so incredibly good.
Mm-hmm.
So we've hit on our undying love for Eyes of Her Mother. We've gone through Why You Shouldn't Watch Don't Kill It. What else have we got on the board?
I have a question for you, because Friday, had nothing to do. Black Friday. Nobody was there. So I went through and I was just going through a bunch of movie lists just to do like mini reviews for them. And so here's a question, and then I'll tell you my answer. What's a movie that you refuse to watch, if you have any?
Oh, just no.
Yeah, just no, or, just for any reason, I suppose.
Oh, God, that's a hard one.
Yeah. Would it help if I told you my answer?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize I had one, because obviously you and I will give anything a chance. And then also me personally, I'll give anything a chance. But I ran into this in one of those like most disturbing movie lists. I refuse on principle. I've read and heard enough about it that I would like to give this a giant neon yellow, all caps, nope.
Okay.
And that's a Serbian film.
No, thank you.
There's no reason for that movie to exist.
No, it shouldn't have happened in the first place.
It's unnecessary. It adds nothing to the world.
Oh, God, I had blocked that one out.
Right? Oh, my God.
My brain was stuck on all of the Saw movies I won't watch.
Oh, okay. Listen. Do you want to have a discussion about Saw now or the next time?
Let's do the next time.
Okay, sounds good, because I have a whole paragraph.
I have minutes of rambling.
I have sentences. Yeah.
But yeah, I won't watch a Serbian film. No. I'd forgotten about that. Ugh. You know something goofy I won't watch?
What?
Bubba Hotep.
Yeah, I've never watched that.
There's no reason for it to happen. It shouldn't exist. No, thank you.
Right. Like, let's live our lives happily, not acknowledging this.
In general, I have a hard time with anything that's remaking a book that I loved, just because it never translates right.
Yeah, you gave it your best shot, but I'm going to still be disappointed in the end.
Yeah, oh, that was a good one, though. That was hard.
Yeah, I know. And like I said, I didn't realize I had one until I read through the lists, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Stepping away from like strict horror genre, what's a movie that's like, I don't know, existentially disturbing to you?
That just leaves me with a feeling of questioning my own sanity, or...
Yeah, like the world ain't right, man, after watching it. And it, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the horror genre. Or, okay, like a movie that's not in the horror genre, but it should be in its own twisted, weird way.
I'm trying to look up a title by a description, so give me half a second.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, but like the world is a fucked up place type of dealio.
Yeah, you're gonna laugh at me, but I on rewatches it doesn't happen. One of the few movies that's given me that feeling was actually the parts of Inception.
Oh, yeah. Inception was just a fucking trip, man.
Yeah, it was odd, but for some reason that one I'm just going, I question my life.
Existential terror.
Let me think for a second. On Trainspotting.
Oh, God.
Watching that movie, I had this weird hollow feeling like I don't know what's real.
Yeah, I was not able to get through that movie, honestly.
It wasn't great.
I feel like, yeah, it just needed more of my attention that I was not willing to give at that moment.
And it's a weird sequence where Ewan McGregor went through this period of existential horror. There's also, I'm sorry, I looked up several titles and just remembered. I Have the Beholder left me with this weird, like, the world is fucking weird. Have you ever seen it?
Mm-mm. What's that one about?
Initially, Stephen Wilson. He's an intelligence agent. I pulled up the wiki so I get the names because it's been a while. He was meant to track down a serial killer who's in a relationship with someone he's been watching. Her name's Joanna, and so Joanna keeps killing people, and Stephen keeps following her. And then you start to realize that Stephen isn't quite fucking right. Like, there's something wrong with him. I constantly see him talking to a young girl, and about midway through the movie, you realize she's not there.
Oh, fuck.
It's his daughter that lives across the country with her mom. He hasn't talked to her in years.
Nice.
And gradually he starts stalking her.
Yeah.
And she is a serial killer. Like, don't get that wrong. But
yeah.
So he starts stalking her. And it's kind of implied that he is really kind of the cause of the destruction of her life. And the end of it, I just felt like, is something wrong with everything?
Yeah. Like, you just kind of want to throw up your soul.
Yeah, and I can't say it's always great, but the feeling at the end of it, like, I wasn't happy, I wasn't sad, I was there for the entire ride. It all happened.
Well, listen, sometimes it's the feeling that it leaves you with that most matters.
Yeah, and it left me with a weird fucking feeling. It was great. Yeah, you got a good one?
I got one, and then I forgot about the second one, but have you ever seen Gummo?
No, I've heard of it.
Okay, it's a Harmony Korine film. It's set in Xenia, Ohio. It's like a poor fucking like bottom of the poverty line, like below the poverty line type of town. And it just follows these delinquent kids who are just like living their lives in the middle of fucking nowhere where there's nothing to do, nothing to see, nothing to stimulate them. They have no interest in bettering themselves, really. And it's just existential horror and disgust, and like, you know that this type of thing is real. Yeah. Like, the only thing that was really grounding me was that Chloe Sevigny was in it, and she like plays one of the main characters, but otherwise you would have thought it was a fucking documentary.
Oh, that's frightening.
Yeah, and then trigger warning for anybody, I rarely ever do trigger warnings, but there are scenes of these fucking delinquent ass children killing cats. So if that's gonna really upset you, don't watch it, because it's a running theme in the movie, because they're killing the cats to sell, to make money, to huff glue, basically.
Yeah.
There is some, like child molestation. There is a man who sells his mentally retarded sister, like pimps her out for extra money.
Jesus.
It's just, it is dark. It is disgusting, and I watch it whenever I feel like maybe I'm a little too happy and I need to be taken down a peg.
I need to feel shame.
I need to feel horror on a soul level. And then the other one that I forgot about, but Harmony Korine also wrote it, but it was directed by Larry Clark, is Kids. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I have. Oh my God.
God fucking damn it.
That made me question my life.
Right? It made me want to show it to my mom and be like, listen, you are very lucky that I am a socially reclusive geek. Like, oh, Jesus. Like, and it's real. And that shit happens. Kids are awful that way. To each other, to other people. Just, it's heavy. It's intense. There's a scene where they basically kill a guy with a skateboard in the middle of, like, Central Park, and nobody gives a shit. It's just...
Oh, no, I've seen it. Yeah. It was distressing.
Yeah, trigger warning to anybody who wants to... it's just really... It hits you in the gut, and you're like, what the fuck? It's got an NC-17 rating. And it's very well deserved. So, way to end it on a bummer note there, man. Sorry. Oh, no.
It's all good. If you're coming here for some lighthearted horror notation, it's probably the wrong episode.
Right. It's probably the wrong podcast for you. But yeah, do you have anything else that you would like to add on to this episode?
To be honest, we hit like the big ones that I was looking for. I just really wanted to be able to touch base on what we saw yesterday and a couple of the other additional answers.
Oh my God, yesterday was a fucking masterpiece. Oh, my heart.
Ay.
Well, I think I'm really liking this horror theme. I think this is really us.
Yeah, it's something we need to keep up with. I mean, we dip into fandom a lot, but it's kind of the core.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to share this document of my reviews with you and we'll talk about some of these. I'm discovering that I'm very much a pretentious bitch when it comes to movies.
Oh, fuck, I'm no better.
Listen, you are a gift.
We are gifts to each other.
We are. Apparently, we hate creature features.
We hate a lot of the same things.
And that's what really makes this friendship work. Oh, we never talked about Cabin in the Woods. Okay, we'll do that next time.
Next time our topic is horror comedies.
We'll talk about how I watched it at 4 a.m. and then just furiously Skyped at Jimmy. It was beautiful.
I wasn't even awake.
I know. It was, I figured, I'm like, you are probably not going to be awake and therefore you can't yell at me to go to bed. So here we go. So next time, I don't know what we're going to bring to the table next time, but be sure to tune in anyway because we are gifts.
We are, and we've got some horror comedies to talk about. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to tweet at us.
Please do. Email us, Tumblr us, whatever. Just let us know.
Do something.
Do something and let us know if you watched any of the films that we've discussed. Let us know your thoughts about it and let us know in all caps, please. That's how we communicate.
It's true.
So thank you everybody for listening to us. And you know what? You know what, Jimmy? You know what time it is now?
What time is it?
This is post-Halloween peppermint flavored depression. Woohoo!
I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. And have a candy cane, cry a little bit into your hot cocoa. It's all good.
I'm drinking a peppermint mocha right now.
I love it. Oh, man. Well, thank you again for joining us, you guys. We appreciate your presence. We hope that you appreciate us.
We try.
Yeah, we try very hard. So we will see you next time, and you have a good one. Bye.
Bye.